That's going right there. Well, welcome back. When you get your flu shot this year, you might want to schedule one for your dogs. Tonight on Animal Island, we're talking about flu shots for Fido, or in this case, little Jordan. Joining me now is Dr. Ernest Vine of Central Veterinary Associates, which is based in Valley Stream, and you have brought along Jordan, right?
This is Jordan.
Okay. How old is Jordan?
Jordan's about 8 months old. And maybe 9.
He is what used to be called a mutt. He's a designer dog.
Designer dog.
He's a designer dog now. So tell us about this. Dogs get the flu as well, do they?
Flu in dogs is very unusual. Up to about 6 years ago, there was no flu in dogs. Then the flu virus in horses mutated and became into dogs. It started down in Florida when there was a correlation between the racetracks and the dog tracks, and it's literally has spread across the country.
Right. In fact, in Manhattan last year there was a big outbreak.
They had a big outbreak in Manhattan. It's interesting that if you kept your dog in the house in a bubble, you would never have to give it a flu shot. But if your dog goes to the dog park, if your dog goes to boarding, if your dog goes to the groomer, if your dog is walking the street where other dogs are, then it's susceptible. The flu it's like with people.
Is it as contagious as it is with people?
Yes, it's aerosol, contact, or even, you know, eating out of the same bowl. Oh, come on.
So how do you know, let's say I mean, what are some of the symptoms that your dog exhibits?
Believe it or not, it's the same symptoms that you would see with people. They cough, they have runny eyes, runny nose, they run a high temperature, and maybe 15 or 20% of them wind up getting pneumonia from it. The flu itself isn't that fatal. What you find, though, is that they get really sick.
Right. And
the pneumonia is like anything else. It can cause real problems.
So what is the flu shot? I mean, is it just an actual...
It's 2 injections, given between 2 and 4 weeks apart, and you are.
Little Jordan, come here. Come here. So it's 2 injections.
2 injections, 2 to 4 weeks apart, and it's usually pretty protective. If you're, again, as I said, as long as your dog is being exposed, it's really.
And you can get this done at any veterinary?
Any veterinarian has.
They all do it?
They all do it.
And how much does a flu shot cost for a dog?
About $28.
About $28. Okay, that's for both of the injections?
No, each one.
Each one is $28. Okay, and would you recommend all pets get this, or only if your pet is?
Again, if your dog is living, never goes out, never, you know, it never goes and sees other dogs, then maybe you could get away without it.
Sometimes when humans get the flu shot, you might exhibit some symptoms of the flu. How's that work?
It's a killed virus vaccine, and I would not tell you that you're not going to see a reaction now and then, because you can inject sterile water into an animal or a person, and occasionally you'll see a reaction. But it's pretty much reaction-free, other than the normal things that you get: soreness at the injection site, you know, maybe a transient temperature for 24 hours. Maybe most of the time it's just really sleepy, loggy for 24 hours.
Now, some people, some pet owners, have actually gotten some pet insurance. Is this something that's covered from the pet insurance?
Depending on the company, like everything else, many of them are covered.
Okay. And is pet insurance, tell us a little bit about pet insurance, for those that don't really know what it's about.
If I wasn't a veterinarian, I would not own a dog or a cat or a bird without having insurance. There are about 6 or 8 really national companies now that are having, you know, financing pet insurance. And what you look for, at least the ones that we recommend, are catastrophic health insurance, which means you have it doesn't pay for the routine things, but if your dog gets sick or gets hurt or you have any kind of illness, it picks up the tab. We have one now that pays 90% of whatever the bill is. Okay, so it's somewhat rare. This flu shots, I mean, flu in dogs, somewhat rare, but it's a good idea to get them vaccinated. $28 per shot. $28 per shot. You need 2 of them. It's interesting. Again, it's not rare if your dog is out and about. Okay. It's rare if you keep your dog in your backyard and never sees another dog. It's like the kids. Right. If the child stays home and never goes to school, it never gets sick. All right. But it's the first time your kid goes to school, comes home a week later, everybody's sick. And if you have more kids, it passes on from one to the other. All right, Dr. Vine, appreciate you coming in here. Jordan, thank you for coming in here and spending a little bit of time with us. And thanks for the information. My pleasure. All right, thank you. Well, if you'd like more information about this service, go to news12.com and click on the numbers and links icon. Thank you. We'll be right back. He